All right, let's go over to Ford because yes, Ford I had a great time in last year. I let it get away somewhere around $10, $11, and it made me suffer because I wouldn't pay up, and I got sidetracked on all sorts of other things for better or worse. And the question is, what is it doing now? So I think we need to go over to the weekly first and look at Ford because Ford really is a thing of beauty. And if you don't want to, you know, uh, get dragged around by GM, because it's who knows what's really under the hood of GM these days. We all wish it the best, but who knows? You know, there are some surprises ahead for GM. Hopefully, they'll all be wonderful surprises. But as a shareholder, you may have second thoughts about dragging it around when Ford is hitting on all cylinders to just continue to throw the puns at you. So look, this is a beautiful chart. Your Ford got up into this $18 area. First of all, when I was in it originally last year, it was technically there was this head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders. You had the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder in here. Finally took out $9, did exactly what it was supposed to do, and then I kind of lost interest, which was a bad thing because the story got even better for Ford. This is such a China-Asia related story, and it's a great one. Would I buy Ford here? I wouldn't be averse to having a position, but just based on this pattern, I think that Ford could probably pull back to about $15, 20, 25 cents if we want to split hairs. And if I could, in a perfect world, buy it at 15 and a quarter, I would, and I'd be looking for it to go to the top of the channel. Thereafter, somewhere around 19 to 20 above the top of the channel. And after that, you can see where Ford could conceivably be going by going all the way back to 1998, 97. Once Ford takes out $17, there's not a lot of resistance left. And it's conceivable, just like this whole mess was a distribution top. Scary. It did exactly what it was supposed to do and more. Well, this is an accumulation bottom. And this has already met its objective. But maybe there's a larger pattern developing here for Ford, right? I'm talking about a mega pattern. And then after Ford hits, in here, $18, 18 and a half, it pulls back to, let's just call it 11. For some wicked reason, the market goes into some sort of risk off. The dollar goes into orbit, and the market tanks, and for whatever reason, Ford comes down to 11. That would be probably the buy of the rest of the second decade of the 2000s. A Ford buy at 11. I don't expect it really to get through this $19 level and sustain, because I think that'll end this leg, and then it'll pull back, I think, and go again. But this pattern, this huge pattern from 2002 to present on Ford, dwarfs the top that it made between 1998 and 2001. It is gigantic compared to this, and that has to be respected. So Ford is probably going to be high on the list of every institutional fund manager going forward. And every dollar or $1.50 that Ford pulls back, I bet you see major buyers. So I'm a Ford fan. Now, having said all that, you know that I'm long the dollar against the yen on the basis of the YCS, and I got long because I thought the yen was grossly overvalued. And in foreign exchange, when something's grossly overvalued, it can stay grossly overvalued until you have no hair in your head left. And almost that's the case with the yen. But the reason I bring it up is because if in fact the yen has turned a bit, and I think it has for a long time, you have to, as much as you probably say, why in the world would I buy Japanese cars? You have to think that the exchange situation is going to be extremely beneficial to all the auto manufacturers in Japan. Here's Toyota. You know, Toyota, with all its problems, has a beautiful base. You know, if this base is 67.5 to, let's draw it here first. That's $7. So that's to 80. That's the first target right here. Second target is up here. But it's a really powerful chart. And look at where it's coming from. It's coming from another base pattern. And with all its problems, Toyota looks great. So anyway, it's probably all going to $90 where it will find some serious resistance, but nonetheless, let me just see where this parallel. There's a daily chart, remember. Let's just see where this takes us. Well, it's all there. I mean, so I'm not saying you should just go out and stick Toyota in your portfolio, but it would be a half-bad idea, especially if you believe that the dollar is going to get stronger and against the yen too. And I think in particular it will get stronger against the yen, because the yen, the Japanese government wants it desperately to happen to help them out of their deflationary situation. They need a lower yen. Okay, so then, okay, let's have it this one. Honda Motor. I mean, look at that. I mean, that is unbelievable. I mean, if you want a case to be made for an accumulation, this is unbelievable. So here's the left shoulder. Here's the head. Here's the right shoulder. And if Toyota Honda can, can sustain above, let's say, $38, it could be this could be one wicked move. Go to $45. Let's see if the weekly helps us out with this. Now, here's the weekly chart. Here's the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, the neckline. That, whatever this is, $37, $38. And here's Toyota. Now maybe it screws around in here between 38 and 35 for a while. And you accumulate it. Now when it takes off above here, Honda's going to go crazy on the upside. It just has that look, that pattern. It's a really powerful pattern. How about this one? This is Nissan. Nissan looks good too. So we have reason to believe, based on what these auto exporters look like, manufacturers and exporters look like in Japan, something's going on.